So again, I'd like to welcome everybody to this evening's webinar where we're going to be talking about setting up and managing your templates and just covering those areas, talking about the conversion of Traknet 2.0 templates, talking about inserting of your headers into your templates, talking about mini templates, inserting of treatment and diagnosis codes, organizing those templates into folders once you've converted them, and also talking about the converting of your super bill as well. So your templates and the managing of your templates are all underneath the username. Your username, you'll be able to manage templates here, but let's first talk about importing those Traknet templates first. By clicking on the Import Traknet Templates, you're going to notice that you're going to come up with the tree on the left-hand side that's going to appear very similar to what you're already aware of in Traknet 2.0. Converting the templates is a very simple process. Being able to just highlight a template and then converting it with a single click, or converting a folder's worth of templates with a click for all the templates within a folder. So if we open up the folder and say we'll open up a neurology folder, and let's click on that neuroma initial. We click on that, you're going to notice that the template itself is going to look very similar to the Modify Template screen in Traknet 2.0. With a very simple single click of the Convert Template button that's going to convert all of the fields that are possible into the Traknet 3.0 fields. The only field, as we've discussed in the past, that does not convert from Traknet 2.0 to Traknet 3.0 that we've encountered is this review of systems. It's a very, very simple process. We're just going to wipe out the review of systems that you encounter from Traknet 2.0. Coming over here to links, changing that links to the visit fields, and you're going to notice that there's a review of systems link. So by making sure your cursor is right where you want it to be, clicking on that review of systems is going to put the link for the new review of systems in there. Alerting Traknet 3.0 that this is an encounter, a single encounter template. It already knows that it's in the neurology folder, and it is your neuroma initial template. Doing something, all you need to do at this point is click on Save New Template. Once you save that template, that one is all set. In order to convert over an entire folder worth of templates, if we were to close this folder and just highlight the folder itself, you're going to notice now it's not the Convert Template button that's live, it's the Convert Selected button that's live. And by clicking on the Convert Selected button, it's going to convert all of the templates that are in there. And while you'll convert all the templates that are in there, you should then go in, since you've done them in a larger block, you should be going in there to then manage those templates. And that'll be done in that separate area. Single templates can be managed upon conversion. Multiple templates when converting a folder need to be tackled under the Manage Template. But by clicking on Convert Selected, you're going to notice that it's going to convert all the templates. In the case that you may see here, since I've been converting templates and demonstrating them very often, it's probably going to tell me that I've converted some of these templates already, and I already just converted that neuroma initial one. So click on that Convert Selected. It's going to ask if I want to convert all the selected templates in the neurology folder. And then I'm going to go yes, and you're going to see that one of the templates in there is already been converted, and more than likely, I think I've converted all of them. So it's just going to allow me to convert again if I'd like. If there's something that you don't like about the template, you can actually convert them. separately and go back, or then go in and go through the Manage Templates screen. On your templates, you're going to convert all of your templates, and again, the Manage is underneath the Manage Templates. What I'd like to do before we get over to the Manage Template screen, I'd like to finish off here and just go through what would be done here. Clicking on your diagnoses, if there's anything specific that you want to convert about the diagnoses, making sure if there's anything in regards to the verbiage that needs to be done, if you just type in a specific code and click search, it's going to bring up that code, and then you can very easily convert that template and then save it. I'm going to start that one more time. I'm going to actually come out of here and come back into the conversion and just starts fresh from the diagnosis tab. We're going to pick that 250.60 again and search that, and then bring that up there. We don't seem to be having, there we go. These were actually 3.0 codes, but here's our 2.0 code. And once we come right on here to the 2.0 code, if there's anything that you want to change, if you want to change the font or anything that comes up with that code, you're just going to save that as a new template, and that template is going to be saved. Let's talk a little bit, and that's for each individual code. They don't have to be converted if necessary. You just may want to change some specific coding on them, but coding in Traknet 3.0 functions the exact same way. Typing in the diagnoses, once the conversion is done, it will pick up the template that's behind it in order to place that within your encounter. Let's talk a little bit about treatment codes. We want to just bring up something like 11.720 and search for that. We must have had a conversion from somewhere else here. But if we click on that debridement of toenails, we're going to see that that debridement of toenails looks similar to what it does in Traknet 2.0. By converting that template, you're going to see that all of the hyperlinks and all of the choices changed. If you want to change the font for whatever reason, come in here, change. I'm a big fan of Arial 11. Nice and neat, easy to read, and then just save that new template. And there we go. So anytime you would use that 11.720, you're going to have that come up, and all of your hyperlinks here. You can edit any of those hyperlinks that are there. Those underscores are editable at this point. Just going in and making this the manage. This is how you would use the multiple options link in Traknet 3.0. You'd use an underscore first to leave it just as a line, and then all of your choices. Now, if you wanted to make something as the default for a specific field, instead of using a line, you should type specifically what you want as that default as the first choice. So if we wanted to talk about specifically nails, say 1 to 5 left, just as an example, we're going to click on OK. And that's always going to be that defaulted choice for that. Going back in is just as a preview again, remembering that that first choice is always going to be your defaulted choice. So if you want to not have a defaulted choice, you're going to start with that underscore, make it as long as you'd like, and then that will be what the choice will be when you come up there. So in any one of these fields, you can edit them and make whatever you'd like as your choices in the editing at that point. You can save that template, and we can then move on. Let's talk a little bit about it, your super bill. So I've already converted my super bill, but what I want to do is I want to edit it, and I want to show you exactly how that super bill would be done. So we're actually going to wipe out the super bill that I've got there. And that's my super bill that was in Traknet 2.0. Very, very simple. You can leave the information that you'd like on your super bill. I'm going to actually take out these primary subscriber information there. And I'm just going to leave that information on our super bill. When you come into the super bill screen for the first time, you may encounter a screen that has a generic test-looking super bill. Just wipe that clean and start with these top areas: the practice header, the names of your patient. The next thing you need to do is you're going to use these two buttons up here. The first thing you're going to do is give yourself a little bit of space there, and you're going to click Diagnosis Holder, Diagnosis Text. And that's going to give the area for all of your diagnoses to convert over from Traknet 2.0. By giving yourself a little bit more space, clicking on that treatment text is going to allow you to have a place for that treatments, those CPT codes to come. All you need to do at this point is click on the super bill that you want to convert. And if you've got multiple super bills in Traknet 2.0, they'll all be listed here. In my case, I only have one super bill in my Traknet 2.0, and I'm just going to click at this point, click Convert Super Bill. What happens at that point is all of the information from my Traknet 2.0 super bill came over into Traknet 3.0. At this point, if you want to edit anything about this, if you want to shorten it up so things can not appear as stretched out, please feel free to come in here and do any editing of this as you'd like. But that is your super bill from Traknet 2.0. All of your ICD-9s, all of your CPT-4 codes, all of them are here now, converted over to 3.0. I'm going to save that as a new template and move on. So that's the converting of templates from Traknet 2.0 to Traknet 3.0. Let's come over here. Let's go into managing those templates if we need to. And what you're going to be doing is converting not only your single encounter templates that you'd like, you're also going to be converting your mini templates from your objective and your mini templates from your plan and your mini templates from your subjective. In Traknet 3.0, there's a little different verbiage that we have. So under encounter forms, you're going to see all of your Traknet templates that you've then converted. In the Manage screen, once you choose that template, let's say, for instance, we're going to choose an arthritis initial one, and we're going to click Select. You're going to notice that when we converted it, it converted over from the orthopedics folder, and that's the name of our template. If any editing needs to be done, if this is an initial encounter and you wanted to come down and you wanted to insert an initial office visit, by just inserting it there, if you need to fix the font or anything at this point, you could change those. One of the things that we have been asking people to fix up is we had originally brought things over as primary diagnosis, but the better field that we have found for this has been the visit visit problems link. So you're going to just drop that visit problems link in there, and that visit problems link is going to connect with our ICD-10 Smartsheet technology. Once you would manage that template in any way that you'd like, once you update it, it'll now, when using that arthritis DJD template, that initial template, since we have that 99203 embedded in there, and I'm going to bring that back up to show that to you, you're going to see that when we put it into the template with the brackets that were just like they were in 2.0, you could see that they've now changed to it being a Traknet 3.0 code. And by using this, it will convert and show up on your invoice as soon as the template is used. Looking at the other areas that you can edit your templates in, your HPI, your history of present illness, is the same thing as Traknet 2.0 users were familiar with subjective. So clicking on that, you're going to notice that all of the subjective complaints that had previously come loaded in there are found here. You can also bring over your subjective complaints into Traknet 3.0. It's also very easy. As I always like to say, never start from scratch. If you just pick one of the templates that's already there for subjective and click select, it's very easy, just like in 3.0 and 2.0, make whatever changes you need in here and then just save it as a new template. So once you bring up this template, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to copy that template. So now it's the new template. Now you're going to make those changes in there. The first thing that you want to do is you want to give it a new name. So in this case, we're just going to call it ankle sprain 2. And if we wanted to make any changes here by just making any subtle change here, and I'll just show it like that, and we save that new template, you're going to notice that now we have two separate ankle sprain subjective or history of present illness templates. Under your physical examination, you're going to find all of your objective exams from Traknet 2.0 that you have converted over. Similar to what was in the single encounter templates, if you just click on a template and click select, you're going to see that the template itself was brought over in a folder and the same name of the template. And these are all of your 2.0 objective exams. You can bring over yours, and Traknet 3.0 came loaded with some objective exams as well. Under your plan templates as well, very similar to what you did before. We just use that. You're going to see that you'll have some plans with the folder that was converted over from Traknet 2.0. It kept that same folder and the name of that template. One of the areas that I just completed a video, and it's going to be up on our website for, is actually to write a thank you letter. Under the referral forms is how I created that thank you letter. You might see a typo or so as I bring this up. as I created this afternoon. And when creating a thank you letter, by adding in specific links for the letter to pull from, you're going to be able to pull information out of a patient's chart and not have to worry about putting it in a second time. So the first thing that you would do when it comes to your thank you letter is you're going to make sure you update that practice header. So underneath your document header is where you'll find your practice header, and you're going to update that. Once you do that, you're going to view, and you're going to click headers and footers, and you're going to come over to your miscellaneous, and that's where you're going to then pick up your practice header, and by clicking on that link, you're going to insert it right in there. By double-clicking in the body, we'll get it off of that practice header. And then all you need to do is create any type of thank you letter that you'd like, thinking about what you would like to say in the letter to any specific physician that you'd like. Once you put in those links, when you're using it in a patient's chart, it's going to pull in information from the patient's chart to be used in that letter. And that letter is written from, I'm going to show you, from the referrals. You're going to notice, give it a second. And right away, since I only have one thank you letter, that referral note's going to come right up. And what it's going to do is it's going to pull any information that we may have. Now you're going to notice that we don't have any doctor information for this test patient. So the doctor's info, the doctor's name is not there. But you will notice that at one time we created an encounter visit note for this patient. So it does bring out the patient's previous diagnoses and comes up with our signature. You can very easily pull up a visit note and print that as well, along with the referral. Once you print that out, by saving that referral and closing, you're going to notice that it falls into the all documents right here for that patient. So while tonight's webinar wasn't very long, tonight's webinar was very important because it really sets the ground for all of the charting in the office. Making sure that you convert those templates and manage those templates, making sure you take advantage when you do manage those templates under encounters, utilizing any of the fields, any of the links that are available, would be able to make your charting and the workflow within your charting a very, very simple process. So take the time to go through Traknet 2.0, either pick the single templates that you'd like, pick an entire folder that you'd like, convert them over, use the manage templates to then come in and make sure they're exactly how you like to use them. You could then add in any mini templates, and I'm just going to quickly show, I think I forgot to show that. If you click under fields, if you had any template that you have open, in this case we just have a blank one, if you have an entire document that you'd like, and let's bring one up, let's just say we want a new patient soap template, and we want to, for whatever reason, put in any specific mini template that is necessary for that template, by just clicking on this link called the template picker, it's going to allow you to select and bring up any one of those maybe subjective templates that are in there, any one of the physical exam or plan templates that's there. Let's say you had a brand new template that was just talking about Achilles tendon injuries. You may want to just put in that Achilles tendon counseling into that template. If you've never had it and you want to load it in, that it'll always appear there. Just click on that select, and you're going to see that that Achilles tendon counseling template is going to be in that link. I'm sorry, that link is going to be in that template whenever you select that template for use again. Very simple process to insert a mini template into your encounters. So I want to thank everybody for joining me this evening for this little shorter webinar, taking the time to manage your templates, those treatment codes, that super bill. It's going to set you up for success, making sure that you try to use those templates on a test patient and see how the workflow goes is going to really help you once you start using Traknet 3.0 in a real environment. If you're still practicing on 3.0, getting up to speed and using 2.0, the more you practice on the things that we've learned tonight will definitely help you. So I'd like to thank you, everybody, for joining me this evening, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow afternoon's webinar, where we're going to document a patient encounter in Traknet 3.0. Thank you very much for joining me this evening, and we are adjourned. Good night.